Now for sports.
Yes, Andy Adler, you got us covered, I guess, and it was an exciting game. Can I tell you that?
Absolutely. I mean, this is something that the world was watching. And before we get to World Cup action, quickly, side note on baseball, we're looking at two different games. Yankees had to cut their game short. Yankees would end up losing due to a rain delay. As for the Mets swept, and they are on a roll. And so is Germany right now. Germany is celebrating, and that's where we bring in Mike Bako. And Mike, it's good to see you. And there is a lot to talk about this morning. And let's get right to it. I mean, let's get down to that goal. Break it down for us. The world was watching in that 113th minute.
Exactly, going into extra time. And when you were watching this game, you were kind of figuring that both teams were sort of laying back, thinking that it may go into a shootout. But the brilliance of this goal, you had a youngster, 21-year-old, just off the bench, bringing it down the left side, and then just playing it off of his body and getting it in far corner with his left foot. I mean, it's a thing of brilliance that most Argentinian fans were probably expecting Lionel Messi to do. In that situation, he had his moments and his chances, but to see a 21-year-old off the bench do this is going to be a game that Germans and soccer fans are going to remember forever.
You know, we're going to talk about Messi in just a bit, but as far as Mario's concerned, I mean, you're talking about this kid. He's coming back to Germany as an absolute hero.
Hero, yeah. He's never going to have to buy a drink again for the rest of his life. I would open up as many bars and car dealerships as possible with that name. You could live off of that goal for the rest of your life. He's going to have a great career on the field, but he can make multi-millions of dollars off the field.
And he certainly will. I was doing a little research on him because, you know, the world didn't really know about him before this game. This is a kid whose dad is a professor. He's a very religious young man. He comes in off the bench and just dominates, and that's exactly what Germany did. Was this at all a surprise?
I think it was surprising from the standpoint of their youth. This bodes well for them in future World Cups because they're getting this great experience. But you had a lot of younger players with not as much international experience, but it spoke to Germany's fundamentals and foundation. They had a coach that wanted to come in, much like what Klinsmann's trying to do here with the U.S. in terms of just making a foundation and a way to play. They remind me of the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA, where you come in and you play a certain way, and that's what Germany was able to do, team over individual.
You know, you talk about the future of World Cup, and that's exactly it. I mean, what does this mean for Team USA that they got so close to actually beating Germany?
I think it's something that they could definitely take away from that pride of the 1-0 game when both teams really needed to win or tie to go into the next round. So they put up, a good effort. But I think it's something that they can learn from. And I think with a German coach, you saw him on Twitter exalting his former country, very happy for their win. But I think he could use this as motivation in terms of teaching the U.S. players. I'm sure he's going to try to bring in some youth. So he's going to try to have those fundamentals that the German teams had.
Okay, so watching this game, and you have to wonder what Messi is feeling this morning because he had this opportunity to sort of secure himself as a legend.
Absolutely.
The fact that this game did not go in their favor and two specific plays like stay in my mind when it comes to Messi, does it taint his legacy?
It definitely doesn't taint his legacy. I think it would have put an extra stamp on his legacy. The players that you remember, the Maradonas, the Peles, they do it on the biggest stages. By no measure did he choke in any way, but he didn't rise to that next level that you were hoping and most people were expecting him to do. He had that last free kick that sailed wildly over the crossbar. That was not exactly a gimme shot. You would have expected him to maybe get it a little bit closer, but his legacy is not tainted, but it really could have been taken to the next level.
Absolutely. So, okay, Germany takes it 1-0, but I can't have you here without talking to you quickly about Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo re-signing with the Knicks, and this has been going on for the last 3 months. Quick thoughts on that.
I think it's great that they re-signed him, and he took a little less money so that possibly next year when the free agent market comes around, maybe Marc Gasol can be manning the center and he won't take as much punishment. So good move by him and the Knicks.
Absolutely. 3 months of questions now answered. Thanks so much, Mike, for joining us. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right. Thank you so much. When we come back, the dangers of tanning. Meet a woman who is facing